Hi, Justin. How are you?
Good, are you?
Thank you so much for sitting in with me today for my class project for cultural music and industries. I just had a couple of questions, kind of trying to do a documentary about a musician. So I'm just going to ask you some questions and hopefully you can answer them.
Sure.
So I know that you play an instrument. Now, can you tell me what kind of instruments you play?
I play drum set, and I've been playing for, give or take, since I was 10.
Okay.
So I'm 24 now, so 14.
Wow.
14 years.
Okay. And I know that when we were talking at one point, I know you were in a band. So what inspired you and your band members?
To be in a band?
Yeah, I guess. I know you're a Beatles fan. I see it hanging in your room. So, is it like the groupie thing appeal to you? Like, was it the girls? Like, the Beatles back then had the Beatlemania. So it was like women just going crazy and wild for the band. Did that somewhat appeal to you?
I don't think so. I mean, at an early age, I was turned on to the Beatles from my parents. So I would listen to, they had a White Album, and they would play it at dinner sometimes. And I think I was probably like 10, listening to the Beatles. What probably stuck out was the melodies that were catchy to me.
Hmm.
So I probably didn't know what it meant at the time. I just knew it sounded good.
Okay. And now, I know since then your band kind of fell apart. I'm sorry about that. But I know you've also been doing your own thing, kind of figuring out your own style, joining drumming competitions, specifically the Guitar Center Drum Off. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Right. Okay, let's first start with my band. Being in a band, sometimes it's like being in a relationship with 4 or how many band members you have. I think it was 3 other people, so including me, 4-piece band. And the reason why we fell apart was because you're in high school when you have a band, you play these gigs, and then you start to get older and take on more responsibilities financially, and at the same time, you're not making money from gigs at that point. I feel like every band has gone through this point where you kind of play to your friends, and you kind of sell out your friends to say, hey, come to my show, support my band, we have to sell X amount, because the promoter needs this amount of money for the overhead, for the venue, and at the end of the day, you don't really make any money. And at the same time, parents of, other members in the band are starting to say, well, it's time to put that aside and go to college and major in mathematics or finance or what have you. So I think that aspect can kind of cause a band to have some kind of mixed feelings in terms of why they do it. It might just be a hobby for some band members, which it was, I think, for some of my band members, but at the same time, my singer and guitarist went on to go to music school and major in music education, so I think his pursuit of musicianship through university studies led him to say, okay, this is definitely what I want to do. I want to be a better musician. Being in a band is great. I love to express myself, but at the same time, there's realities like moving out, supporting myself, being able to pay rent, healthcare,
Yeah.
benefits.
Now, I'm sorry to cut you off, But I know when you played your band, you did some covers, and now did you put your own rendition or your style of like to the song to kind of change it up, your own grain of the music?
Yes and no. There were certain songs we would just play as kind of like a crowd pleaser at certain bars, and there was other bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers which we really loved, and they would incorporate their own jams, sometimes live. So we would take that upon ourselves to say, okay, we don't have to do exactly what they did, but we could jam on that and expand on that in our shows, which is cool.
And now, I think you mentioned earlier that you grew up listening to what your parents listened to, like Beatles, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. And I know you're also kind of being influenced in a way by musicians like Zed, who's in the electronic dance industry genre. Now, what do you think the difference is between the two musically? The musicality of it.
Between the Beatles and Zed.
Yeah, I mean, like now that technology can use a computer to incorporate different styles of sound, as opposed to just like the regular guitar and instruments.
That's a good question. Okay. Well, let me see. When I start.
Just a 6-minute video. Just
Man, you got credit. Okay. I think there are a lot of similarities between the Beatles and Zed, and pop music in general. Where it has evolved with the technology, you might have, your regular band, and that was true for the Beatles, and the Beatles, timeline is a whole different interview. But today's technology and the culture of electronic dance music, the Beatles would play, they started out in Germany and Hamburg, to screaming fans in a club, and it was similar to what fans at a Zed concert would want to do. They want to go out and kind of jump around like maniacs, whereas Zed and the technology of EDM permeates more of a 4-on-the-floor bass drum.
Yeah.
So, it's a similar idea, except I would say through technology and the evolution of digital audio workstations, you don't need to have a 4-piece band anymore.
Now, what are your inspirations to finally, sum up this video? What inspires you, musically, when you make your own music?
Just the overall feel. I mean, I can sit down at the drums and just really feel some kind of energy between what I'm playing and more like a sonic feel.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.